Most people know Hailey Bieber as a model, an influencer, and the wife of one of the biggest pop stars in the world. But behind the headlines and the chaos, there is a completely different story people rarely talk about. A story that shaped the woman she became long before she ever met Justin Bieber. Hailey grew up surrounded by fame, yet she never saw herself as a celebrity. She was quiet, disciplined, and focused. While many kids dreamed about spotlight and attention, Hailey dreamed about purpose. She didn't want to be famous just to be famous. She wanted to build something meaningful. Something that represented who she truly was, not what the internet decided she should be. But being the daughter of a famous family came with constant pressure. People assumed she had it easy, that everything was handed to her. What they didn't see were the expectations, the comparisons, the criticism, and the fear of never being enough. Hailey spent years trying to figure out who she was behind her last name. Before she ever dated Justin, Hailey was already fighting a silent battle, wanting to create her own identity in a world that constantly attached her to someone else's story. At auditions, she wasn't Hailey. She was Baldwin's daughter. Online, she wasn't a person. She was a headline. And even then, she kept her head down and worked harder. When Hailey began building Rhode, most people didn't understand the vision. They mocked the name, doubted the brand, and assumed it would fail. But she kept going with the same quiet determination she had since she was young. Hailey believed that Rhode would speak for itself, and it eventually did. The world saw the result, but they didn't see the nights she cried, the meetings she left feeling defeated, or the moments she wondered if she was strong enough to handle the pressure. Everything changed when she married Justin. Suddenly, the criticism multiplied. The comparisons became brutal. And no matter what she did, people twisted the narrative. But even under that pressure, Hailey refused to lose herself. She focused on her marriage, her health, her faith, and her goals. She chose peace over drama, growth over gossip, and purpose over popularity. When Hailey finally announced Rhode, the internet reacted instantly. Some people cheered and celebrated her stepping into the beauty industry, but others didn't hesitate to tear her down. The jokes started, the criticism started, and the comparisons started again. People claimed she was copying other brands. They said she didn't know anything about skincare. They said the brand would fail within a year. And every time Hailey posted something, the comments filled with negativity. But what most people didn't know was that Hailey had been working on Rhode silently for years. She wasn't rushing products. She wasn't chasing trends. She was studying, learning, testing, and developing formulas with real chemists. When Rhode finally launched, everything changed. The brand sold out in minutes. The glazed donut skin trend went viral on TikTok. Influencers reviewed the brand not because she was famous, but because the formulas were actually good. Soft, clean, simple, effective. Rhode wasn't trying to be a 50-product line. It focused on essentials, the basics that everyone needs. But with success, the hate didn't stop. Drama from other fandoms tried to overshadow her achievements. People who had never tried the products left negative reviews. Memes and edits flooded the internet. But quietly behind all the noise, Rhode kept selling out. Restock after restock. Month after month. Hailey didn't clap back. She didn't argue online. She didn't try to prove anything to the haters. Instead, she doubled down on quality. She continued refining formulas. She expanded shades. She improved packaging. She made the brand stronger, not louder. And while the internet argued about her life, Hailey focused on building her business. Behind the scenes, she was in laboratories, sitting in long meetings, adjusting textures, approving scents, picking ingredients, and making sure every single product represented the vision she started with. Simple, clean, intentional skincare. Justin supported her through every step. He encouraged her when she felt overwhelmed, reminded her of who she was, and pushed her to trust her instincts. Their private life was full of late-night talks about goals, fear, pressure, and the legacy they wanted to create together. Rhode was more than a business. It became Hailey's proof to herself that she could build something real despite the noise. It showed her that she didn't need to be the loudest to be the most effective. And while online drama came and went, Rhode only got bigger and stronger. Part 2 ends here. The rise of Rhode had just begun. What came next would change Hailey's life forever, a billion-dollar offer. As Rhode continued to explode in popularity, something interesting began happening behind the scenes. Beauty insiders, people who usually didn't pay attention to celebrity brands, started studying Rhode's numbers. Analysts were shocked by how fast it was growing. Investors were impressed by how consistently it sold out. And major companies began to quietly watch every move Hailey made. One of those companies was ELF Beauty. They were becoming one of the strongest brands in the entire beauty industry. Affordable, high-performing, dominating social media, breaking sales records year after year. ELF wasn't just successful, they were strategic. They knew how to take a trending product and scale it globally. So when they saw Rhode's performance, they didn't see a celebrity brand. They saw a potential empire. Behind closed doors, ELF began studying Rhode's ingredients, marketing style, packaging, margins, and customer loyalty. Everything pointed to the same conclusion. Rhode was a rocket ship waiting to go global, and Hailey had built it from the ground up. Then came the moment that changed everything. ELF contacted Rhode with an offer. Not just any offer. A deal valued at up to $1 billion. For most entrepreneurs, that number feels unreal. For Hailey, it was a line she had drawn years earlier. She once said she would never sell her company unless the number started with a B. Not for ego, not for attention, but because she knew the level of work she put into it. She knew Rhode was worth more than the internet gave her credit for. Still, she didn't say yes immediately. Hailey wanted to make sure she kept creative control. She wanted to ensure the formulas stayed the same. She wanted Rhode to keep its identity, even with a massive corporation behind it. After months of private conversations, negotiations, and brand evaluations, the deal was finalized. Rhode became part of ELF, but Hailey remained the creative lead. She wasn't stepping down. She was leveling up. Overnight, Hailey Bieber went from being underestimated online to becoming the founder of a billion-dollar brand. She joined the tiny group of young women who built beauty brands valued in the billions. Not inherited, not gifted, not handed. Built. People who spent years doubting her had to quietly watch her make one of the biggest business moves of the decade. Every comment that tried to minimize her success suddenly looked small. Every rumor, every comparison, every insult, none of it mattered now. Hailey had done something most people never accomplish in their entire lives. She built a global brand, survived public criticism, and turned her vision into a billion-dollar empire. But the story doesn't end here. Rhode's future is about to become bigger than anyone expects. After signing the billion-dollar deal, Hailey Bieber entered a completely new chapter of her life. What started as a small idea during lockdown had officially become a global powerhouse. But Hailey wasn't planning to slow down. If anything, the deal gave her the freedom to dream even bigger. With ELF handling global scaling, Rhode can now reach countries and markets Hailey could never access alone. Better production, faster restocks, wider distribution, and the ability to expand into new categories without losing quality. Hailey still leads the creative direction, which means Rhode will continue to feel personal, intentional, minimal, and true to her vision. What many people don't realize is that this deal didn't just change Rhode. It changed Hailey's identity in the business world. She's no longer just a celebrity with a brand. She's a recognized founder who built something real in one of the most competitive industries on the planet. And while the internet still argues about her, Hailey stays focused. She's working on new formulas, new shades, new categories, and new global plans. From fragrances to makeup to full skincare lines, Rhode is becoming more than a brand. It's becoming a beauty culture. For Hailey, the $1 billion wasn't the finish line. It was proof that believing in yourself, even when everyone doubts you, can change everything. Her story is a reminder that success doesn't come from being the loudest. It comes from being consistent, patient, and intentional. And this is only the beginning of what she's about to build.